everyone. Let us shift our focus back to animals, especially hormones in animals. We have studied about the nervous system in animals and how complex it is, using electrical impulses to transmit a message across to the body. Hormones have a similar function to transmit messages, but they are different from nervous tissue. Let's do a thought activity first. Imagine there is a squirrel in the jungle. He's passing by his regular day, but suddenly he hears the roar of a tiger. What would you imagine the squirrel to do in this situation? Animals don't usually think. Their brains don't rely on a network of numerous neurons and their impulses to make one decision. Thankfully, it has a chemical means of communication in its body, in form of hormones. One of the regions in its body will release a hormone which will make the body alert and it will run away. Turns out its life was saved. So, what are the advantages of a chemical communication system in the body? Firstly, it can reach all the cells. Even if the squirrel could think, the message would not reach all of its cells. Secondly, it can bring about a wide range of changes. The release of a single hormone brought about several changes in the body of the squirrel. We will read about these changes in a few minutes. Animal hormones are a part of the endocrine system, which constitutes a second way of control and coordination in our body. What is the first way? The nervous system. Here is a picture of the endocrine system, the system comprising of glands which release hormones. Males and females share most of these glands, but we will study their differences soon. Hormones have to be released in a precise manner. They cannot be released less than required or more than required. We will study the consequences of this as well. The timing and amount of hormone released are regulated by a feedback mechanism. As a bonus, let's quickly understand what a feedback mechanism is. It is best described by a flowchart. Imagine there is a compound A which is promoting compound B. It is allowing B to be made somewhere in the body. B is doing a similar process for C. C is doing a similar process to D. But D does something different. It stops the manufacture of A. This is a feedback loop. D is sending a feedback to A to stop the process. Why is that? Because we don't want anything in our body in excess. If D did not stop A, the process would continue forever and disturb the equilibrium of the body. Having understood this, let's go into the hormone which saved the life of the squirrel. Adrenaline is secreted from the adrenal gland. Adrenaline is the hormone which was released by the adrenal gland in the squirrel's body when it heard a tiger. Let's see how it saved its life. Adrenaline is secreted in the blood and carried to its target tissues, including the heart. Adrenaline diffuses as well and enters the bloodstream. Remember that the word secreted is always used in case of hormones. The heart beats faster, resulting in a supply of more oxygen to our muscles. Adrenaline in our bodies is working when we're scared for an exam or when we have a presentation in front of an audience. Our increased heartbeats is due to adrenaline. Muscles make small arteries in the digestive system contract and blood is diverted to the skeletal muscles. By giving the skeletal muscles more blood, they have been activated to run, just like the squirrel did. The breathing rate increases because of the contractions of the diaphragm and the rib muscles. This ensures that we don't get tired soon. This response is known as the fight or flight response. Due to the hormone, the blood can either choose to fight the danger or flight, that is, run away from the danger. According to the situation, the modes switch. However, adrenaline is not the only hormone in the body. There are several others. Let's review them one by one. Thyroxine is manufactured in the thyroid gland. The thyroid gland is situated near the throat, as we can see in the picture. It regulates carbohydrate, protein, and fat metabolism. This means that it controls the breakdown of carbohydrates, proteins, and fat when we consume in our diet. It does this to help the body grow and develop. Have you heard of iodized salt? It is regular salt with iodine in it. It is widely popular and even preferred. It is related to the thyroid gland. Iodine is necessary for the synthesis of thyroxine. Thyroxine is a chemical compound, and for its synthesis, it requires iodine. Since iodine is not found in a lot of foods, iodized salt is chosen. But can you imagine what will happen if there is a deficiency of iodine? Iodine deficiency leads to goiter. Goiter is a disorder where the neck appears swollen and is due to the thyroid gland being unable to complete its due process. Next, have you seen a very tall person or a very short one? Tall people are called giants and the short ones are called dwarfs. The funny thing is that both these situations are caused by the same hormone. The growth hormone is one of the hormones secreted by the pituitary gland. As we can see in this picture, the pituitary gland is seen in red and is a part of our brain. Even our brain secretes hormones, but the growth hormone is just one of them. As the name suggests, the growth hormone regulates growth and development of our body. Deficiency of this hormone in childhood leads to dwarfism. Can you guess what causes very tall people called gigantism? Yes, secretion of the hormone in excess. That is why the feedback mechanism is so important. The hypothalamus plays a role in the release of many hormones. Hypothalamus is also a part of the brain, as we see here in blue. The hypothalamus can release the growth hormone releasing factor, which stimulates the pituitary gland to release the growth hormone. Usually, the pituitary gland knows its function well, but sometimes it may fail to secrete its hormone. So the hypothalamus, acting like the boss of the pituitary gland, orders it to release its hormone by secreting a hormone of its own. Next, do you recall the changes you observed in your body between the ages of 10 and 14? This was a process of puberty. Hormones play a key role in puberty. Let's see how. Changes associated with puberty are because of the secretion of sex hormones. Up till now, all the hormones and glands we have studied are similar in males as well as females, but sex hormones are different in the two. The sex hormone in males is testosterone and is secreted by the testes, while the female sex hormone is estrogen and is secreted by the ovaries. Both these sex hormones are involved in the onset of puberty and bringing about physical changes. They remain in our body for the rest of our lives to maintain our reproductive health. Moving on to the next one, insulin is a hormone produced by the pancreas. Have you seen a family member taking injections every day and keeping away from sugar? This is due to insulin, actually lack of insulin. Insulin is supposed to be secreted in our body in normal amounts, but sometimes it does not. It helps in regulating blood sugar levels. Can you guess what disease is caused by lack of insulin? If it is not secreted in proper amounts, the sugar level in the blood increases. Have you recollected the name yet? Well, this condition is called diabetes. Diabetes is a serious condition and research is very active in this area. Diabetes is treated with insulin injections, but it has not been cured yet. This just proves how important hormones are in our body. I realize it is a little difficult to remember every gland and every hormone and their functions. So for the sake of simplification, I suggest making a table. A table such as this one is a shortcut to remembering all the information contained in this video. Many glands and their hormones sound similar. Like the thyroid gland secretes thyroxine while the testes secrete testosterone. Once we are familiar with the relation of the function of the hormone, it would be much easier to remember the endocrine system. After all, it is an important system in our body. Thank you, and I hope you've gained something from it.